This video is a wake-up call to Americans on illegal immigration. Now, a lot of people are going to scream racism, discrimination, nationalism, and who knows what other type of ism, but I really don't care. What I'm about to say needs to be said. And by the way, just because I want to secure the border doesn't make me a racist. Even if it were 14 million white socialist Canadians illegally skipping across the border, I'd boot them out as well. So don't give me any of that politically correct, bleeding heart liberal crap by calling me a racist. Anyway, we're slowly but surely losing our country. And when I say we, I'm talking about those of us who still hold dear the values that made the United States of America the greatest, most prosperous nation in the world. Values such as freedom, liberty, justice, capitalism, self-reliance, self-determination, personal responsibility, and equality under the law, just to name a few. And we're losing our country because our politicians are not only destroying it economically, they're destroying it through our open border illegal immigration policy as well. You can't just let millions of people into a nation and expect it not to change, especially if those people don't hold the same values as the current population. Just look at history. To begin with, let's compare the history of the United States, Israel, and Tibet. The United States came into existence because of mass migration, and this mass migration brought a new set of values to an old land. That's how it's always worked throughout history. Once enough people of one region move into another region and change the makeup of that population, it's changed forever. Europeans used this strategy over hundreds of years to take America. Jewish people used this strategy in the 20th century to reestablish Israel. China used and is still using this strategy to take Tibet. And people from Mexico are attempting to use this strategy, some deliberately, some not deliberately, to take back the American Southwest, which, by the way, was taken from Mexico by the United States using the same strategy in the 19th century. It's a simple strategy of population overload. Just pile in enough people, and over time, you can take the land through attrition. And it's a strategy that goes back through man's history. In case you're not a fan of history, Texas, Arizona, New Mexico, and California all used to belong to Mexico. In fact, Arizona and New Mexico both became states less than 100 years ago. My point being that many Mexicans still consider much of the Southwest to be Mexican property, and they would love to have it back, or at the very least, siphon as many economic benefits out of it as possible. Of course, they would never say that out loud, but just look at the facts. Remember when this most recent debate on illegal immigration began? Remember seeing protests by illegal immigrants and Mexican Americans in cities all around the country? Remember which flag those protesters were waving? It wasn't the American flag, was it? It was a Mexican flag. And remember how after Americans saw this, they were outraged, and the very next day, the Mexican flag suddenly disappeared, and those very same protesters started waving the American flag? I sure as hell do. Do you actually believe they all changed their mind that very night? Two of the three biggest revenue producers for Mexico are the money made by illicit drugs being sent to the United States and immigrants, legal and illegal, working in the United States and sending the money back to Mexico. And this is why the Mexican government not only doesn't want to stop illegal immigration, but does everything it can to encourage it. And as to our own government, what are they doing? Almost nothing. It all comes down to the Republicans wanting cheap labor and the Democrats wanting future votes. And that's why neither party has been doing anything to stop illegal immigration from Mexico. I'm not against legal immigration as long as those who want to come here choose to live by the values America was founded on. If you want to come here and go on welfare or change America into an even more socialist nation, then stay the hell home. Looking at different sources online, I've discovered that anywhere between 36 and 46% of legal Mexican immigrants are on welfare. What the hell is wrong with us? Add to that the cost of bilingual education and the billions it's costing the American taxpayers in social services for these people that don't even belong here. I even saw one online source say that roughly 10% of Mexican citizens currently reside in the United States. It's ridiculous. And how long are we going to say that all you have to do is make it onto American soil, have your baby, and that baby is automatically an American citizen? No other nation in the entire world has such a stupid policy. The only reason this policy was put into place was because of slavery. And in case nobody's noticed, slavery ended roughly 150 years ago. As to Arizona's new law on illegal immigration, what does the Obama administration expect? If he had the federal government do its job, Arizona wouldn't have to. All Arizona's doing is trying to secure its border with Mexico in order to stop the out-of-control flood of illegals, illicit drugs, and the crime caused by both. Can you blame them? What would you do? Besides that, if you actually read the new law, you would see that it's not nearly as tough as the current federal law on immigration. So why aren't those who are screaming racism over the Arizona law screaming racism over the federal law? So here we are. The federal government doesn't do one of its most basic jobs ascribed to it by the Constitution, and then it has the audacity to sue a state because it holds the outrageous belief that its border should be secure. What in hell is going on here? And a couple of more questions I'd like to ask because I really don't have the answers. If it's illegal to hire illegal immigrants because they're here illegally, is it also illegal to hide and harbor illegal immigrants for the same reason? Are they not fugitives from the law? I mean, if it's going to be argued that one way to stem the flow of illegal immigrants into this nation is to punish businesses for hiring them, of which I agree with, by the way, couldn't it be argued that the people hiding and harboring these people should be punished as well? After all, they may be working at these businesses, but they must be living somewhere else, right? So shouldn't both parties be punished? Wake up, America. Wake up before the America you love is gone forever. Because of ignorance, apathy, greed, corruption, and just plain stupidity, our country is going the way of the Roman Empire. Is that the legacy you want to leave to the future generations living on this land? I know I don't. Thank you.